Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Our brand new Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays begins now.
Tickets are on sale now for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s and 90s WrestleFest Birthday Bash, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans, another big night of SmackDown, another big night of AEW Rampage. But you know what, baby? It's dessert time. It's Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays. A man that knows all about dessert. A man that loves Marjot's French creme brulee.
Nope.
John Cena Sr.
Wrong.
Johnny, I tell you, I can't believe it. I've made it to another year.
Lucky you.
I enjoyed a visit to the world-famous Kowloon Entertainment Dining Complex. Have you ever had their chocolate cake there?
No.
It's actually excellent. And you wouldn't think, nothing against Chinese food restaurants, but you wouldn't think of them as places that would have great chocolate cake. But the chocolate cake was superb.
Well, we know it's not baked there.
How do you know that?
Or made there.
How do you know that?
Take a look at the slice of cake you get. That cake is pre-sliced and it's brought in from an outside bakery.
Well, I didn't sit there with a magnifying glass.
You don't
Johnny.
have to.
I just kind of ate it.
Sometimes you really are an ass.
Well,
You don't have to. Wow, Andy, don't let him in anymore.
They have great chocolate cake. I'm trying to put it over.
Okay.
All right. Well,
They're noted for their fried ice cream.
now see, that's odd to me. I don't understand fried ice cream.
Well, I have an ice cream stand. I can tell you it's a hot seller.
You still have an ice cream
had
stand?
one. I had one.
Oh, I know you had one. Well, I know you were looking
The
for
best
one.
way to do fried ice cream is with a tempura batter.
They what?
Tempura batter.
What is that?
You ever have fried shrimp at a Japanese restaurant? Tempura fried vegetables?
No.
It's a very light batter made with the cornstarch and rice flour. And I use salsa to bring it up. And you dip the food in that. It just puffs up really light. It's very light. And you fry your deep ice cream. Take your frozen ice cream, roll that, drop it in your deep fryer for about 45 seconds. Cover it with powdered sugar, chocolate sauce, whipped cream, and a cherry.
Now, I thought you were on the look for a new locale.
Oh,
and I don't want to give away where you were looking. but-
Wells, Maine. I'd like to do something
well,
in
you
Wells.
gave it away, but-
I'm thinking along the line of donuts. And what I'm talking about is Monique has a friend of her daughter's. They quit their jobs and open up a donut shop in Providence, Rhode Island. And I have to tell you
What is the name of it?
I can't think of it right now.
All right,
But
say it
they
good.
have a bagel everything donut. Unbelievable. That's the kind of stuff I'd bring in. There's a Diane's Donuts, I believe it's in Westford, where they have a meatball sub donut, hamburger donut. No, it's really all made of donut. It looks like the real food. And if I did anything in Maine, I would contact them and see if they could do like a lobster roll, clam roll, and have a little machine to do cider donuts. That's it.
Well, remember, I came up with the name for it.
What's that?
You Can't Eat Me.
You know, folks, I'm here only because of the fans.
You Can't Eat Me. Mm-hmm. I think that would be kind of a fun name for it. You don't, apparently.
No.
No.
How about Hole in the Wall?
Well, you've had enough of those.
I'd like to do some barbecue maybe up there. So, smoking donuts.
Smoking? You want to do a barbecue and donut shop?
Do you know that in Maine, at least where I am in Wells, I've only found one little barbecue, and there's not many barbecue up there.
You didn't like it?
There is none.
Now, do you want to do the cooking?
Of course.
So, is Wells going to be your new permanent spot?
No.
You just have it as maybe a summer gig, or?
I do summers up there now.
No, but I mean, if you were going to run a restaurant up there, you'd have to be there every day.
I probably would like to get a shop in Algonquin
Yeah.
for the donuts. And
You Can't Eat Me.
yeah, well, that's your take. You know what, folks? Again, I love the fans. I'm here.
Fans, I want to know what you think. Do you think You Can't Eat Me would be a fun name for a donut shop?
Boy, I could just see that in a T-shirt.
You know, I could really go somewhere with that name, but I'm going to be nice because I think so much of you.
Thank you very much.
But I think you know what I'm already talking about.
You got it, brother. Let's move on.
All right, wrestling fans, speaking of moving on, Tony Khan was trying to get Kurt Angle to move on to AEW. I don't know if you saw that in the headlines. Your thoughts on the potential of the former Olympic gold medalist? We mentioned Gable Stevenson going to WWE. What would you think of Kurt Angle going to AEW as either a part-time performer, a television persona? What do you think Kurt Angle would offer AEW, if anything, where he didn't have much left in that unfortunate WWE run?
First of all, I think his farewell match should have been Cena and not Coburn.
Oh,
Coburn's being
talk
thrown,
about nobody cared.
Well, he's being thrown to the wolves now. Coburn will be the next one to get released, in my book. I think Kurt Angle would bring an awful lot to AEW in terms of what's the word I want to use? Training the new talent. You know, tell him about the business, bring it up. I think he has an awful lot to offer. As far as in ring, I think Kurt Angle would make a tremendous manager. No general manager, manage a specific individual, but I think he has an awful lot to offer the young talent. So,
who would you have him manage on AEW's roster?
I might take an unknown face, somebody that you and I
have
know.
him groom someone from scratch.
Yep, and just bring that guy out or that woman out.
All right.
I think that would work. Angle is very loyal to the WWE.
Really?
You didn't let me finish.
Okay.
To a point. To a point.
Other than those 10 years, he was
Thank you
very
very
loyal.
much. Thank you very much. So, I don't know why he didn't take Tony Khan's offer. I don't read the dirt sheets, so I don't really know. But if I were Kurt Angle and Khan made him an offer, I think I might have bit for at least 1 year and see what I could perform, what I could do. If that worked, I might have gone forward. And maybe Kurt's just had enough.
The problem I feel like his WWE run was such a disaster was because they let him sit on the sidelines too long. You know what? Well, no, it's almost like, I hate to say it, but with all of his physical ailments, it's almost like he turned into a statue. In order for him to continue to execute and perform great matches, I think he needed to consistently work. I think he needed to consistently wrestle, as opposed to saying, okay, you're not going to have a match for a year and a half, now go back out and have a 5-star match again. Where he was been so banged up and hurt, and he had his well-documented substance abuse issues, that time off did him no favors. I don't think he really had one good match in the entire time that when he came back.
Well, there again, it substantiates what I said in an earlier show, that WWE signed you to a contract, you can't do anything, sit on your ass and I'll send you a check. It didn't do Kurt Angle any favors.
None.
And so that's why I think if Khan is throwing him an offer, might not be good enough, I don't know. But if I were Angle and you're still interested in the business, I definitely would grab that. My nephew Trademark is good friends with Kurt Angle, and speaks very highly of him. I don't know why Angle would not accept an offer from Tony Khan on even if he wanted to do, okay, I'm coming down to work with the guys and the ladies for 6 months. Let's try it out. Let's see what's going to happen. Unless, again, like I say, Angle's just had it with the business and wants to walk away.
Well, I mean, you know, for the better part of now, my God, you go all the way back to 23 years, the business has been his existence. Maybe he just wants to enjoy life a little bit, not have to have that commitment of pro wrestling.
He's had a lot of ups and downs.
And he's made a lot of money.
Yep, but he's had a lot of ups and downs. He's fought his own demons. He's won the battle. It wasn't a pretty fight. He lost a lot of things in trying to gain what he gained. So maybe it is time to say, you know what, I just want to be me. I just want to go to the beach. I just want to take my family and go to Universal Studios and have some fun. So I don't know the answer to that. But Kurt, if the offer's out there, give it a lot of consideration. I do believe, my friend, that you have so much more to offer this business, not necessarily in ring, but the knowledge that you possess, that you could pass on to these young men and women, unbeatable.
I think Nate will take the cash when he's able to. I
I
have very
think-
little doubt about that.
Hello, Rick? Yep, I'm there. Haven't made the offer yet.
Nate wants the cash.
I like Nate. He and I've done several shows with Ric Flair.
There's a lot of respect for you. From
I have a lot of respect for Ric Flair. I really mean that sincerely. You know, when I say this, people say, boy, you have respect for everyone. I'll be right up
you
front with
do.
you. If I've got somebody I don't like, I'll be right up front and say they're a piece of garbage. I have no use for them. When I say I respect someone, I do respect that person. And I think, you know, the best thing to happen to Ric Flair was to leave WWE.
Why, though?
Because now he's his own man, he's his own person. He can go where he wants, when he wants. He wanted to private label stuff. He wanted to do things. As much as Vince was behind him 150%, there are other people that are behind Vince that are saying, you can't do this anymore. You can't let Flair do what he wants to do, and Marty wants to do the same thing, and he's saying, sorry, you can't do it. So Flair wants to do a clothing line, a wine line. He's making appearances now. He's doing well for himself. So I think the time comes, I've said it several times, for everyone to cut the baby loose. And I think he did everything he could do for the WWE. I think it's good for him and it's good for Charlotte. Charlotte's now on her own.
Well, I tell you this, I was very surprised to learn at how much Rick was making in WWE. I guess
I don't know that.
A lot more than a lot of full-time performers were as an ambassador. I don't want to say that WWE was exactly happy that he came to them wanting his release, but where they were in cost-cutting mode, I don't think they necessarily cried that they were losing such a large salary for someone that was contributing. I think it's fair to say very little at this point.
It was a mutual agreement that we part ways. I think that's the way to leave. It's very difficult when you get your shit in a plastic bag. So Flair being the gentleman he is, Vince being the gentleman he is, I think they came to an agreement that benefited everyone. And I think it's going to benefit Charlotte. I really do. You know, Rhodes is Rhodes. The name means something. But Cody Rhodes had to go out and prove, I'm Cody Rhodes and I can perform. Charlotte Flair has gone out under her dad's coattails. He managed her. He brought her out. The fact of the matter is, she now has to prove her own worth. Whether she does or she doesn't, that's up to her. But I now think you can't now say, well, her old man's there. That's why she's where she is. So I think it's good for everybody.
You think once Rick is back on the road, there'll be any riding of Space Mountain? The oldest ride in the park still has the longest line? It almost sounds like, well, I don't want to talk about what goes on in Wells, but...
Well, you shouldn't, because it's not true. You see, not true. Undocumented, unsubstantiated statements are grounds for lawsuits. So my whole thing is this. I don't think Flair, that's what got Flair in trouble, in my opinion.
The women?
In the first part. He lived the gimmick. You all know that what we say in this business is, when you start believing your own shit, you're in trouble. Well, he lived the gimmick. The high-flying, jetting Cadillac, you know, smiling, stealing, womanizing. He lived that gimmick. And justly so, I guess. But it cost him in the long run, So I think Space Mountain might just be a thing of the past. I don't know. I just wish him the best. I think he's made the best decision for Ric Flair, a best decision for WWE. Certainly, Khan is sitting there at the top going, one more. Bottom line looks better already. So,
and I'm sure TNT would be very happy to have him back on their family of TV channels.
You know what?
Look at where he spent so much of his career on Turner Broadcasting.
I respect Impact, I respect TNT, but if you're going to go somewhere, go where you can contribute the most. Kurt Angle, Ric Flair, just imagine. Don't even put Flair in the ring.
No,
but
please.
But he wants to do that. But don't even put him in there.
I wouldn't risk it with all his health problems. He's almost died. How many
Don't even do
times?
it. But think of the knowledge and what he can pass on to those women and men in the back. You can't buy it. You can't buy it. So why not grab it, put him in a position where he's in the training with Arn Anderson, with Kurt Angle, and Ric Flair? Man, you can't beat that trio.
Well, it's interesting where he did, in an interview not too long ago, said, he had a little heat with Arn and Tully because they didn't reach out to him after his son passed away. Do you think there could be any hurt feelings in the locker room? You think maybe it would be best to maybe if Rick comes in to sit them down and maybe have a lunch and chew the fat a little bit, maybe clear the air before he goes out on the road full time with them at the TV tapings? Or would you maybe just kind of let it be what it is?
I can only say this. They didn't reach out, unfortunate, but time heals everything. I don't know why they didn't reach out. Maybe he does. I don't know what's behind it. I can't make a decision because I don't know the story. All I can say is, as shocked as I was at what happened, because I worked with them, it happened. As shocked as I was, I'm sure there were other people that didn't reach out. So time heals all wounds. I guess I have the theory, in order to be forgiven, one must learn to forgive. It's over. It's done with. I say to people, today is a page in my book. When I turn the page for tomorrow, that page is glued. I can't go back. I can't reopen it. I can't look at the pain I caused people, the hurt I caused people, the screw-ups I made, how I screwed up myself. Forget it. It's over and done with. Have a brand new page. What I can do is rewrite or try to undo those things that I did that were incorrect. It's a whole new day. Don't go backwards, go forwards. Because when you go backwards, you destroy the present and you assure yourself of no future. So go that route. And I think Flair's man enough to see that. He was in a very hurt, and as a parent, I'd be blown away. Yeah. Very, very volatile position. And the closest people to you, or he thought, didn't respond. Well, again, I don't know the story. I can't make judgment. But forgive. Move forward. It's a whole new day.
I think sometimes people don't know what to say or how to say it. And that may come off as cold, but, everyone's thought process and execution in life is different than others, I guess, maybe is one way to put it.
I agree. I know when my parents passed away, people would walk by and say, "Oh, please accept my condolences. I know how you feel." Have you lost a mother or a father? No. You don't know how I feel. You have no idea the sorrow that's in my heart. It's a hole in your body that no matter how much putty you put in, can never be filled. So maybe nothing said was better than something said. Maybe there was a contact where Rick was sorry to hear what happened. That was the extent of the reach out. Maybe they wanted more, or maybe he wanted more. Again, I can't sit here and comment because I haven't heard this side or this side. There's your side, there's my side, and then there's the truth. So one of us has to decide after listening to the story who's really telling the truth. So again, I don't know. All I know is he was in a very deep, dark, hurt place.
And who wouldn't?
Oh my God, please God. I just experienced something with a, and I think I said this on one of the programs we were on. 2 weeks ago, I was contacted by a friend who used to work for me. Tina Zolano was her name, by her daughter, and a young man was at Boston Children's Hospital. I believe his name was,
I remember the picture you showed me. Yeah.
And they said to me, "Can John go in?" Well, obviously not. I said, "But I'm more than happy to bring some stuff in and go in his place if that will suffice." Look, I'm a nobody.
I wouldn't agree with that for a second.
So I wanted to go in, and then I get the phone call. I said, "Is it going to happen on Tuesday?" And they said, "We don't really know now because he's had a tough night and he's on morphine." And I said, well, keep me posted. And the next text, or the next day, the text was, Jack died. You know, look at those parents. 15 years old. You're in this deep, dark valley right now. And how do you respond to that? How do you say, please reach out, please? It's at a place where whatever you say, nobody hears anyway, because you're wrapped up in your loss. And I believe that Flair, because of the situation that existed, was in that very position. So whatever happened, happened. I'm sure now that you never get over that, by the way, ever get over that. Everybody I've known that has lost children, parents, it's very difficult sometimes to get over that. But you have to get by it. So it's time to heal the wounds, and it's time to move forward. Let's hope it happens.
All right, wrestling fans, you heard it from John Cena Sr. himself. We'd love to hear what you think in the Premier Chat on the right-hand side of the screen. If you're watching us after AEW Rampage, otherwise, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget, if during the premiere, the Super Chat button is a rockin' and a rollin'. Captain Lou set us up with a Venmo at Boston Wrestling. We got PayPal, we got everything, as all roads lead to Memorial Hall. Saturday night, November the 13th, for our 20th anniversary bash, almost kind of a back to the 80s and 90s mix with the great plethora of superstars headed your way, fans. Check it out.
Tickets are on sale now for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s and 90s WrestleFest Birthday Bash, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. The World Wrestling Federation was live at the Philadelphia Spectrum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Saturday, September the 24th, 1988. In the opening contest, Mr. Perfect beat B. Brian Blair. Barry Horowitz with the win over DJ Peterson. The Big Boss Man defeated Ken Patera. The Honky Tonk Man victorious over WWF Intercontinental Champion The Ultimate Warrior via countout. WWF Tag Team Champions Demolition retained the titles over the British Bulldogs. Bad News Brown beat the Junkyard Dog. The Hart Foundation with the win over the Rougeau brothers via disqualification. Jim Powers defeated Iron Mike Sharp. And in the main event, WWF World Champion Macho Man Randy Savage retained the title over $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase in a steel cage match. If you were in Philadelphia live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our world-renowned Patreon streaming service, so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
On October 28, 2020, Wrestling's Scariest Night was back with WWE NXT Halloween Havoc. This limited edition collector's autograph poster is number 12 of only 100 produced and is signed by all 9 superstars featured on the poster, including Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, Dexter Lumis, Cameron Grimes, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez, and your Halloween Havoc host, Shotzi Blackheart. Comes with WWE authentication hologram on the back,
You'll also receive an on-air thank you from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas and a bonus mystery autograph photo. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome collectible now.
Wrestling fans, especially here in the Boston area, we want to thank our great friends at Red Rose for their support for all of our charitable endeavors and programming efforts. Red Rose is 2 years young and extremely thankful for all the support they've had from our neighbors here in Melrose and beyond for an amazing first 2 years. Red Rose thanks Melrose and all of the first responders who have fought the good fight and have never given up hope during these unprecedented times. We did it together. Follow Red Rose on Facebook for their anniversary special, facebook.com/Red Rose Melrose. You'll be glad you did. Open until 2 a.m. Red Rose will give you fresh, piping hot, mouth-watering food that'll put an ear-to-ear smile on even the toughest critic's face. Check out their full menu online at redrosema.com or give them a call, 781-620-1889.
Johnny, I'm telling you, baby, I can't wait till November 13th.
Well, we're getting closer, which means it's getting bigger and better.
I got another gray in the beard, though. I don't know.
Well, why don't you use, that Just for Men beard, blacken it right up,
Well,
make you look 20 years younger?
JTG has promised me all the great goods that he has from his Shah beard care line that Kofi Kingston promotes on this very program for him. JTG, a very wise man that has learned to monetize himself and his life outside of pro wrestling, which I think everyone should try and do for their own personal good. JTG is a very smart guy, in addition to being in the best shape of his life at the age of, I believe, he's 36, 35,
Strawberry
36.
lemonade.
Telling you, baby, I can't keep the women off of me. I feel like you without it on. If you ever had it on, forget it.
Nah.
I mean, you'd be hurled into the street by these women. You'd be mauled like those tigers down at Carol Baskin's Tiger Farm in Florida. I don't know if you saw the...
Oh, she just sold that. Joe's,
Did she really?
I think, was it Joe?
Well, Joe Exotic went to jail, but Carol
right,
Baskin...
but they just sold his farm.
Oh, they sold his farm.
They sold the zoo, and I believe she was the one that was involved. But
I think she wound up winning it in a lawsuit or something.
Right,
yeah.
and she sold it, and it can never be used for a zoo for 100 years.
Wow.
Talk about creating your own monopoly.
Tiger King was the name of that
Yeah,
series.
I saw that. I watched it.
Did you enjoy Tiger King?
Yeah, I did, but it left...
Did you?
I think it left a lot of questions. Did he really try to do her husband in, or did she do him in for him? I really don't know. It was very strange, very odd.
A lot of it was almost like wrestling.
Yeah, it was.
That type of personalities.
And the question remains now, should he be pardoned and should he be let out of jail? I don't know if they're going to let Sirhan out. Maybe Tiger King's got a shot.
You think Joe Exotic deserves to be pardoned?
Does Sirhan deserve to be pardoned?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Sirhan is the man that assassinated Robert Kennedy.
Oh, okay.
And I'm the guy that said forgive and forget. And I really
I think if he assassinated him, I would say no.
Okay. So my thing is, there's such a thing as forgive and forget, and there's another thing about sending a message to society. It's okay to kill a U.S. senator. And he said he was drunk at the time he did it. You watch the film, it sure doesn't look that way. But you're going to allow this man to come out on parole after serving 53 years in prison. I'm sorry to say this, God forgive me, but you know what? The message to society is that you can go out, 2 members of the parole board, that's all they were in California, or whatever it was, decided that it's okay to send him out.
He got pardoned?
He's shocked that they are going to let him off, give him parole. He's out.
How old of a man is Saran?
He's 66.
That's still kind of young.
Well, you know what? The message is simple. And I think we're sending the wrong message out today.
I agree.
Yep. People who commit crimes, look at that. And this is a wrestling show, but I'll just make a point. That Marine that went into that house, shot that mother and blew the head off that 3-month-old baby and killed those other people. You know what? Don't say it, John, because you're going to get in trouble. But we send a message. Oh, rehab. we send a message that,
Rehab.
yeah, well, I'm going to stop there because I'll say
No,
things
you
I
don't
shouldn't
that's
say.
not something you rehab, but that's just my opinion.
So anyway, what about wrestling?
Where the heck did we leave off? Speaking about a career that feels like it's been shot in the head, Kevin Owens. Apparently his contract is coming up much sooner than later, but maybe as soon as January. WWE, in their infinite wisdom to try and save some money, restructured contracts when coronavirus hit, and a lot of guys are free agents a lot sooner than they thought they were going to be. It wound up first with Adam Cole, now with Kevin Owens. To me, as we discussed off the air, I don't think it would be that much of a loss to WWE if he went to AEW. What are your thoughts on if Kevin Owens reclaimed the name Kevin Steen in AEW or other wrestling organizations?
I think Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens has something to offer.
Really?
I just think that here's a guy that they came out like a ton of bricks. He had that program with my son where he went over. You know, people say, oh, well, Cena beat him. You know, if you understand professional wrestling, it's not win or lose. The check's the same. It's the rub. The rub, and if you don't get what rub means in this business, all the marks out there that make all these stupid-ass comments, I just kind of chuckle. You know, nothing better, and I said this at one of the pay-per-views here, you have nothing better than to sit in your mom's basement and do this. Get the hell out, enjoy life. No, this.
Oh, all right. I wasn't sure what you were doing with your hand there for a minute.
No. So I'm not that low. And so I just kind of sit back and say, I think when he came on the screen, he got a great rub. He did. He never lost that rub. But then all of a sudden I began to notice something. Less and less and less. Now granted, he took leave, he was sick, he was injured, but less and less of Owens. So I think Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen, still has something left to contribute. The question becomes,
what?
And I don't disagree with you, how you're going to use this man and the talent that he possesses to put him over the right way. I don't disagree with what you said earlier. You're not a fan. I am. I think he does have something to offer. I think he could be potentially a mid-Carter. And I think they've done him a disservice.
Do you think maybe he needs a fresh coat of paint in a new organization? I mean,
Yes.
that's what used to keep all of these talents so fresh throughout their careers. They had 25, 30 different territories they could go and work.
Yes.
And they could go somewhere for 6 months a year and freshen up and then go back to maybe their favorite or their quote-unquote home territory.
Look at that match that he had with Roman Reigns. You can't tell me that wasn't a good match.
The street fight or whatever it was, the Falls Count Anywhere match?
Well, yeah, but that was pretty stupid. The referee and all that other crap.
Yeah.
But still, if you looked at the two performers that put that together, that was a very well, I thought the match was well done. And I think that he does have a lot left in him. I think he does need to be repackaged. It's just that whomever is making the decisions doesn't want to repackage the product. It's easy to kiss it goodbye. And they're hoping that these 23, 24, and 25-year-olds, nobody over 30 now, is going to save this company. Wrong, wrong, wrong. That's like saying, Con, how old are you? You don't know the latest in accounting. We got to bring in somebody 25 to replace you. You know what? Doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. They're not creating new superstars. They're not creating the future of the company. They're just a glorified indie shop now.
WWE?
Please.
Wow.
You know what? I hate to say it. I said it about NXT. If you and I could run Memorial Hall with the pyros and crap that they had down there, we'd be the hit just like NXT. Now, look, I'm sorry. People hate me for saying it, but I'll be right up front.
You're honest in your opinions.
Because I think we've got some indie stars that are as good as, if not better, than what they've recruited. All right? I think we could do it. However, the fact of the matter becomes, tell me who they've created now to assume the roles of the Austins, the Rocks, the Cenas. You tell me. who they've got in line.
You know, honestly, you mentioned Indies. I think Owens comes off as almost like a bootleg Austin, Indy Austin, doing the stunner as a finisher. I don't think that does him any justice.
But the fact of the matter is, the man can...
What would you do with Kevin Owens creatively? I mean, I think he's worked everybody. I think he's done it all in the 6 years he's been on the roster.
Well, guess what?
He's someone, as opposed to a Fiend, I'd say, you know, good luck. If you think you can do well in AEW, we'll let you go. If you think there's money in Impact or Ring of Honor, go.
I don't think he's worried about being let go, because I know Steen has got a future. Look, nothing against Ring of Honor. Brian Milonas is a good friend. That's where he is, in Ring of Honor. You know, and I don't think too much of Ring of Honor. I really don't. I'll be right up front with you. I don't care what they say about me. I'll call it as I see it. There's some great talent in Ring of Honor. But there again,
the presentation is kind of bland.
Thank you very much.
And I think the presentation of Owens outside of maybe his first year has been very bland.
Well, I'm a firm believer that if you truly want to keep the car, you can refinish it, shine it up, and put it back on the street. And, you know, I don't think they're doing that. You just made a comment that he's done everybody and gone as far as he can. When Roman Reigns beats Brock Lesnar, what's left for Roman Reigns?
Well, he went over on Owens a few times already. You'd go back to that feud?
But forget Owens. I'm just commenting. I'm picking up. You know,
I think
what's left for Reigns?
If I was to make a prediction, I would say that McIntyre goes to SmackDown, and that'll be his next big feud.
You know what?
So you two can go out together with the sword.
All I'm going to say is this. Been there, done that. Let's not waste time, because, you know, McIntyre is going to fall to the head of the table. So,
have you ever won a kill, Johnny?
What's that?
Have you ever won a kill?
Never have.
No. Would you?
Never would.
Why?
I'm Italian.
Well, if it would help Sheamus get McIntyre get over a little, you wouldn't do it for the business?
Please. You know what? Once again, a joke's a joke, a laugh's a laugh. Sheamus, who you mentioned, a very good friend, that man is built his reputation on his ability. There's a guy that can fight, let me tell you something, for real.
I'd ask Yoshitatsu about that.
He can fight. He's
another one that I think is bound for the recycling bin. But
Yoshitatsu or Sheamus?
No, well, Yoshi was... He was put in the recycling bin. They just never took the bottle back.
That's right.
Sheamus, another one. I mean, what more can you do with the guy? He's been done to death.
Yeah, but you know what?
Why let guys go that there's still some juice left to?
Don't you think?
What more could you do with Sheamus that hasn't already been done?
Well,
nobody cares. That's the reason why the popularity is declining. Kevin Owens, he's done everything there is to do. You know, you may enjoy his wrestling more than I do, and I can respect that. But I mean, as far as his persona goes, what else can you do? They tried the babyface route with him. It was not funny. It was not the 2021 Dusty Rhodes. His heel persona, what more is there you can do with Kevin Owens that's going to make a wrestling fan say, geez, I miss Kevin Owens. I'm not going to watch anymore. I think with someone like Fiend, you have people where they say, geez, I really like this. I'm not going to watch anymore.
I think that there's always a way to save anything that you want to save. Anything worth saving is worth working for. And if you say that there is no way to repackage Owens, if you say there's no way to repackage Sheamus, I think you're missing the boat. I think if you truly care, and you know...
Maybe it's because I'm not a fan of either one of them.
Maybe that's your answer. That's your answer. Because I'm a true believer that if you truly want to recreate something new, Vince has done it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And I'll only go back to Cena when you know they fired him. Vince was going to fire him, and Vince was in the ring and said, "I really don't care. I made you, and I can make another John Cena." Well, you know, and I'm being facetious, all part of a storyline, But if he truly wants to recreate a character and reinvent the wheel, there's the man that's capable of doing it.
Vinnie Mac.
Yeah, well, whatever you want. Anyway, what's happening is you don't like the characters, you don't like the people. That's fine. I'm saying that if you want to save something, it's worth saving. You're saying go to AEW, good luck. You know what? I hate to say it, but AEW's got a pretty goddamn good roster right now.
I know, right? They're attempting to repackage Elias right about now, and there's another one that I think
guess
back
you and
to the
I-
history of Elias. I still can't think of one good match that Elias had. I can think of a couple for Sheamus and Owens.
All I can think about is Elias is a ripoff of Jeff Jarrett. At least Elias can sing, but ha ha ha. You know what? I didn't like the character when he first came in. I don't like the character now.
No.
I don't
didn't
care.
like it in between.
Well, yeah, but so how do you repackage this guy? What are you going to do?
I would release him.
Maybe I'm agreeing with you on that one.
Although, you know what? No, because you know what? I'd say, I'm not sure how old he is, but I'd say, maybe send him down to NXT, shave him, give him a new haircut or whatever, but there's nothing there. I don't think he's that good in the ring, and I think the gimmick sucks.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him every time he comes. You know what? He's over when he would do, "Dring, who wants to walk with Elias?" And then the bell rings, deflated. It was as if you were in a funeral home. He got a pop for the walk with Elias phrase, and other than that, nobody cared about Elias. Nobody cared for Elias.
But-
Stick a fork, as Gorilla Monsoon would say, stick a fork in him.
He's done.
He's done.
I think the fact of the matter is that somebody, whomever that individual may be, very high up in the ladder, liked the character and wouldn't let it go. I've seen that happen several times with people. So, unfortunately, there's a case of somebody not listening. Because, hate to say it, I'll be the first one to say that maybe I'm wrong, but you know what? As soon as he walked in and he did what he did, after a month, he'd have walked out. Didn't bring anything to the table as far as I was concerned.
No.
Didn't shine, didn't cause the arena to erupt. You know what? If you can't put asses in seats, and I remember being backstage, and I was with Art Anderson, and we're shooting the breeze, getting ready for my thing, and I said, "Wow, man, they're booing the shit out of Cena." And I wasn't saying that because I was concerned, because I understand the business. And he said, "Man, Mr. Cena, the one thing you got to understand, as long as they're making noise, they know you're there. When you come to that curtain and come through and you don't hear anything, then you better worry." And there have been some people that have come through that curtain and there's been no response.
And Elias is the personification of
Thank
that.
you very much.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know where we go from here. Owens does have a lot to offer. I think if they use him the right way, I think they could use him as a Canadian against the United States, whatever, like the Rougeau brothers. But you know what? All I'm doing is just sitting.
At least you're throwing ideas out.
I'm just sitting here saying, if I really want to keep you, Dan, I got a way to repackage you. We're going to give it a shot. Now understand, once I repackage you, you're agreeing with me. We're going to do the best we can. If it doesn't work, brother, then you hit the bricks. Yeah, but all right. But the fact of the matter is, we both gave it our best effort. I'm not a fan of giving up. I never have been. If I did, I wouldn't be where I am today. I went through a lot of crap in my life, and I'm not going to sit here and share that part of my life with the fans. But I went through a lot of crap. I was bullied. I was pushed around. Tough. It was tough life. But you know what? I never quit. I never would yield. I always would drag myself back up, no matter how hard it was. And people need to learn this. So why give up on a character? Why not give it a chance? But no, it's easy to say, better for the bottom line. Bye. And Roman Reigns at some point is going to go.
Yeah, everybody does at some point. But,
so is Rollins.
Well, you know my thoughts on his character. I love his in-ring work, but his character as Howard Miller gives us the signal. I'll say this in closing out the segment, Johnny. Is this segment 2, Howard? Yes. All right. In closing out the segment, You know what, Arn Anderson actually paid you a compliment on his podcast not too long ago. He said one of the only things he thought that could have made the Four Horsemen a bigger success was instead of J.J. Dillon, if they had J.J. Cena.
I disagree with that 100%.
I could see you doing that.
J.J. Dillon's the man. I've met him a couple of times. Another great human being.
J.J. Cena.
No, J.J. Dillon's the man.
Well, we disagree. All right, what do you think, fans, of everything we just discussed? Kevin Owens, Elias, Sheamus, and God knows what else on this crazy show. Right now, we are preparing our countdown to our 20th anniversary. Well, it's actually Tuesday when we become officially 20 on September the 28th. But the event itself, Saturday night, November the 13th, the historic Memorial Hall in Melrose, baby. It is going to be a happening. It's going to be a fan fest. Autographs, photos, VIP Q&A, and live wrestling that's going to be white hot. It's going to blow the roof off of Memorial Hall. Piggott won't be happy, but you sure will be. Get your tickets now. BostonWrestling.com. Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marty.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It's all over BostonWrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now, available on eBay.
As the Demon, he became the first WWE Universal Champion at SummerSlam 2016. Here's your chance to own this limited edition collector's autographed art print, personally signed by Finn Balor, one of only 50 made, direct from our friends at WWE. Also signed by original artist Rob Schamberger. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome collectible for your wrestling collection now.
Cheer! Why, hello! I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Inside. It's Dan Marty and John Cena Sr. as we continue to talk about virtually everything and anything on this show.
Wow,
Had a little extra time
Yeah.
on this session. We didn't have to rush like we sometimes do. I think the fans are enjoying that a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more at ease, able to, to be more in depth and detailed about what's going on in the king of sports, professional wrestling. One thing from the quote-unquote rumor mill I found very interesting and would be very interested in your thoughts was that Impact Wrestling apparently wanting to open up the wallet for the first time in quite a bit, to the point where maybe moths might fly out, and to try and make a push for both Braun Strowman and The Fiend. What do you think of that as their possible destinations?
They may want to open the wallet, but I think as a talent, I would have to once again sit down and say to myself, is it worth the money? It's one thing to be offered $8-9 million.
I certainly don't think those are the offers that are coming.
Yeah. I think if I was Strowman and The Fiend, I'd be looking to AEW, New Japan Pro, definitely not Impact or TNT.
I can't imagine that AEW would not want Bray Wyatt on Halloween or whenever he's available. But, Strowman, they could have had any time they wanted to. He's available now, and his no-compete is up.
Yeah, but you know what I'm thinking in my own head?
Why hasn't anyone signed him?
Well, I think because
nobody cares.
They have Big Show. They have one big man. I don't know if you need another one. And Paul Wright has got more credibility and longevity, so why not go with the guy you know best? Strowman, I'm not sure he understands the direction he really wants to head in. Right now, he's kind of out there feeling his way along and making a decision whether I'm going to stay in professional wrestling I'm going to make a change, and if I do stay, here's where I want to be. New Japan, I would love to have him over there.
You think so?
Oh, unbelievable. Man, oh man, he'd be great. But I think AEW would like to have him there also. The question is, what's he going to contribute? What are you going to do with him?
I think he'd look awfully big with most of that roster. You know what I mean?
He'd be huge.
Yeah.
He'd be huge. It's a very small, very small. Kenny Omega, people think he's giant. He is giant as far as a wrestling star goes, but, you know, I don't know.
Under 6 feet in stature.
I think that if they don't, and remember, it's up to the individual whether they go to AEW or,
Right.
I think if they don't pick up Bray Wyatt and
They're
do
nuts.
and do something really Halloweenish with him, they miss the boat. Miss the boat completely.
If you were Impact, what would you try and do to sweeten the pot to entice them to come in? Is there anything other than money you could think of?
Well, see, if I were a pro wrestler, and I had just been let go, I'd have to look at viewership.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to look at character control. I'd have to look at the writing side of it. You know, Impact can offer me anything you want. If there's nobody watching, you know, let's be real. What the hell's the point of going? For a paycheck? I'm not about the money. I'm not about the money. So why would I waste my time? I think
You
if
think
I'm
it'd be
gonna,
a waste of time for them to go to Impact?
I do. Okay.
Or Ring of Honor.
What's the? You know, you go from one low to the lowest, and I don't mean Ring of Honor. I mean, you just keep going down. You know, if I were going to go anywhere, and I had a choice right now, to me, there's only 3 places I'd want to be: New Japan Pro, WWE, or AEW.
Well, a lot of people don't want the travel of. I mean, can the guys even travel to Japan? I don't know if they're even allowed at this point.
I know that they're coming in, so if they can come in, I don't see why. And it's up to Japan whether they'll let you in or not.
Oh.
But I just think that you know, there's enough going on right now and enough things that are out there to make an intelligent decision. You know, okay, you're going to do your big anniversary show in your basement. So I'm going to sign on to come down and do it with you. Who's going to be there? You, Little Marati, Linda Marati, Howard. You know, why? But you're going to do the show at Memorial Hall where you're hoping to have 1,500 people. That's where I want to be. And because the exposure that I'm going to receive, should I decide AEW isn't for me, or should they decide AEW isn't the place they want me to be, I at least have had the exposure on a large surface so I can sell myself better. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Strowman, again, I don't know what the hell was up with that, but AEW for some reason hasn't pulled the trigger on that yet. I hope they pull the trigger on Bray Wyatt.
Like I said, how do you not take one of the 2 hottest guys in the business and not bring him into your company? They'd be nuts if they didn't bring him in.
Yeah, because then it would be Strowman against Paul. It's probably Vince McMahon.
Well,
Let me just see who
Joe.
that is.
Wanted to talk about You Can't Eat Me.
Yeah, well, guess what? We're just going to turn the ringer off.
One of your stalkers?
And I really can't afford to talk to the president right now.
Oh, all right. Well,
So, you know, you're more
surprised
important.
he's awake at this time.
There's nothing.
It's after 11 o'clock.
Well, there's nothing we can do to help that. Believe me, please God. Anyway, back to wrestling. Strowman would face Wright. That would be the 2 biggest men in the business. Or they could form an alliance where Strowman and Wright try to take over AEW. You know, the little guys take over. Lilliput is attacked by the Giants. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. It remains to be seen. I still think before I bought Strowman, I'd put the money out there for the Fiend.
Oh, yeah, without it. And no matter what name you have to call him or whatever you come up with him, I'd say 99 out of 100, unless there is some extenuating circumstances that I'm not familiar with beyond, like I said, what I had heard WrestleMania weekend when he was still with the company, that, that he had some emotional health issues. Why every wrestling company on the planet wouldn't want him?
Well, in addition to what you heard, I heard that they were negotiating his contract, that they were in the process of rewriting. So what happened along those lines, why it didn't come
maybe they didn't see a bright outcome.
There you go. So maybe he's saying, wait a minute, you know what? I'm tired of this stuff. You killed me off, basically.
For Alexa Bliss.
And now you want me to come. What are you, crazy? You ruined the ideas that I had that would have made the Fiend bigger and better. I don't think I want to be part of this company. And I'm sure, knowing the chairman of the board, that he didn't want to lose that individual. I'll guarantee it. I'll buy you a steak dinner if I'm wrong.
At the end of the day, though, like we've always said, it's his company. I mean, if he wants someone, why would they not be there?
You can say whatever you want. It's his company. It's his company. It isn't his company. He's the chairman of the board that answers to every single stockholder of WWE.
And who's the majority stockholder?
Well, him, Stephanie, Triple H.
Well, if he owns more than
John Laurinaitis.
If he owns more than 50%, who does he really have to answer to other than himself?
Well, but
people can complain all they want, but
the more stock he sells, the less interest he has.
I understand that.
So my whole thing is, you still have to answer to your viewers. You still have to answer to the general public. I guess the SmackDown for last week was they're still at 2 million, but they're going down. Raw is holding at 1 million, which tells you what?
It's way over 1 million.
Yeah, but tells you what? The product is sliding, and nobody gives a shit. Nobody
and
cares.
they're not doing anything to fix it. Again, my point of contention is, if I'm Fox, if I'm USA, I'm angry that they're letting so many quality talents go. So whether it be release or whether it be not re-signing them.
So there's no way that Fox and USA can get out of it. They signed the deal. I can sit here and put shit on TV, and you still owe me the money. And you see where this is going? It's unfortunate.
Well, but what happens when they come up for renewal in a couple of years?
It all depends on where AEW is, and it all depends on how serious those people involved in WWE are about recreating, repackaging the product. Because right now, I'll tell you what, I watch WWE, I watch AEW. I'm watching a soap opera, and I'm watching wrestling. Which would I prefer to watch? Wrestling. That's the difference. That's the difference.
I think if AEW could just clean up those 2 or 3 segments a week that just drag the show down, I mean, you'd be looking at a really good show that could be an exceptional show. You know what I mean? I just think they have a lot of guys and girls under contract that aren't Major League ready yet.
Well,
and at some point you have to say, okay, you're not Major League ready.
That's why you're bringing an Angle and a Flair, Anderson. Just think of what you got there. You don't need an XT. You got your built-in college with your professors right there. Again, I think when you get all that money selling the hot dogs in the park, you thought you were the only one. Now there's 2 furniture stores on the street. Competition is good. And when AEW first started, people laughed. They got 10,000 viewers. Yeah, they're gone. They'll be gone. I remember some of my friends saying that to me. Cena, I don't know why you're so strong on AEW. I love WWE, but I like competition. I said, don't sell those people short. They have determination, they have fortitude, desire. Watch what's going to happen. Whoever thought they'd be over 1 million viewers? Whoever thought they'd have 3 spots?
The first week on TV, they drew over 1 million people, so it wasn't...
But think about it. Think about it.
I think it was a surprise that week.
Oh, they're going to go down to 800,000. They'll go down to 600, and then some of the clowns out there, well, after they have their pay-per-view, it's going to be over. Really? They're around a hell of a lot longer than some of these naysayers.
Going on 2 years in just a couple weeks.
Oh, you know what? Like I say, some of these marks have nothing better to do than sit down there and go, Mom, can I have another chocolate milk for my peanut butter crackers, Mom? I know I'm going to write this, Mom. I'm going to answer, Mom.
Sounds like what Cecil the Lion does sometimes in his basement.
Let's not go there. Remember, we agreed. All right.
We'd be nice. Well, thank you. I lost my train of thought. Well, let me ask you this real
Howard
quick,
just gave
Johnny.
us the signal.
He gave me the signal. I understand. But your thought on the new, you talk about rebranding, it almost looks like the gay pride color logo of NXT now. It's very bright, very colorful. It almost looks like the flag we see every June for Gay Pride Month. I'm not quite sure the direction they're going in with that. They want to make it more colorful. I get that, but I think I don't know if too colorful is the right word, but it's certainly very, very different than the black and gold that they borrowed from Boston Wrestling. Were you surprised the first time you saw it? I was blown away.
I understand this, that the rainbow was a contract between God and man, that the world would never be destroyed by water again. The rainbow holds hope. The rainbow holds promise. The rainbow holds strength, unity. So for them to pick the rainbow to put on their logo, first of all, gay pride has its place, as every human being has its place in society. Congratulations.
And I'm not saying that's their intent. I'm just saying that's what it kind of looked like to me.
But the colors in the flag, the colors in NXT are symbolic of a promise, symbolic of the color of the world, that we accept it all. We intermingle. I think people have a tendency to make comparisons that really aren't comparisons. I look at that emblem, the NXT emblem, and you know what? Gay
Well,
pride
what did you think of it?
Gay pride never came into my head. I did think it was different. I thought they were going in a different direction, but I never looked at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I just simply said, you know what?
And again, I want to stress, I'm not trying to say that I thought they were going in a homosexual route or anything.
No.
That was just my interpretation when I saw it.
agree.
I said, Jesus, it's very colorful. It reminded me of the flag that we see every June.
That's fine.
Okay. I
That's
just
fine.
didn't want anyone to.
No,
Sometimes people can take things the wrong way unless you specify.
Clarify.
So I
I
wanted to
agree with
clarify.
that. I agree with that. I know I've been that way. That's why I keep saying, I'm going to get in trouble for this one, right? And sure enough, I do.
Never.
I do. But I think that the logo is good. It's different. It's bright. It brings your attention to NXT. I'm more concerned about the existence of the product than I am about the logo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more concerned about who's taken it over and what they will do to either maintain it or destroy it.
And do those people need any more on their plate that are going to try and...
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Those are some pretty full plates.
I think
They've gone through the buffet table a few times.
they have
each
indeed.
week.
They have indeed.
Yeah.
They have indeed. And I thought that Paul Levesque, Triple H, was doing a great job
Yeah.
at NXT. Why not leave well enough alone? Because initially, that was pegged as a failure, that it would never succeed. And if you think you can succeed, here's the money doing it. I just think that let's hope that that symbolism of hope structure in their colors will reflect on the overall product. We'll wait and see. In Florida, to digress if I may, one of the things I was most interested in was AEW now going to Universal Studios.
I've been saying that for years.
Well, but guess what? I was like, oh, wow. Guess what? Did they beat him to the punch?
Now, granted, it is only the YouTube show. It's not like it's one of the AEW TV shows, but, I mean, great idea, great way to get the guys more work. As I said before, I thought it would have been tremendous if WWE worked out an agreement with Universal just to have several you know how like they do the animal shows and other ones sporadically throughout the day for 45 minutes? Have a couple of matches and give guys matches in front of fresh audiences a couple times a week. I thought it would have been great. It was the former home of TNA Impact for many years. WCW, I think it was Worldwide, used to tape out of there for a short spell. I think even, what was the name of that company called? My gosh. The brand that Hulk Hogan started in between WCW and WWE. I know he was the top baby and Mr. Perfect was the top heel. Someone's going to Google it and share it with us. But I know they taped out of Universal. I think they only did 1 or 2 sets of TV tapings. But and then Hogan went back to WWE and the rest of them did. But there's somewhat of a history of wrestling at Universal Studios, and I think it's pretty cool that it's going to be back again for those young guys. I think the young guys of AEW will have a blast being able to go there and wrestle. You know, it's a cool ambiance down there just to be around the park and everything at City Walk late at night. I know myself and some of the TNA stars enjoyed a couple of adult beverages there a few nights.
I love City Walk.
Your only problem with you is you don't go back to the hotel.
I do.
That's not what I heard.
Well.
You keep that boat rocking, baby.
Ooh, all right.
Keep that boat rocking.
You know, I think WWE missed the whole deal on that because Paul Levesque, Triple H, and I have to side with him. That would have been a perfect place to film and create the WWE Museum, the Hall of Fame. There, you know, I keep saying this and people keep laughing at me. Show me where the Hall of Fame is. You get a ring and you get a certificate.
And a plaque.
Hooray. So where is the Hall of Fame? I can go to the Baseball Hall of Fame, Basketball Hall of Fame, Football Hall of Fame, Hollywood Hall of Fame. I haven't found the WWE Hall of Fame yet.
I have to say, it came up in one of Triple H's more recent teleconferences that he does before TakeOver, and maybe the Vince McMahon philosophy made a little bit more sense to me once explained, that most of those Hall of Fames really aren't generating a profit. In their thought process, well, what can we do to make ours different? I mean, do they have NXT matches? Do they have meet and greets? What could they do to make WWE's Hall of Fame different than baseball in Cooperstown or Canton, Ohio with the NFL Hall of Fame, or Springfield with I like the Springfield one, but again, once you've been once or twice, you can say you've been, unless there's a specific star you want to see. What can you do to keep it fresh and relevant to keep you wanting to go back? And I think that's maybe where they're stuck a little.
Okay. I think that the way you would do that is we're in a whole different mindset now. You have 4D rides, you have intermatches where you could be involved, memorabilia you couldn't find anyplace else, replicas of that memorabilia. I just had a friend send me a text. I forget where he was. Was it California? Where he went to the Wax Museum, and there's actually a figure of John Cena. And I'll tell you.
You or your son?
No, not me.
Oh.
Please. If they had a John Cena senior figure, they'd probably melt it. But it was John, and I tell you, I've never seen anything. I almost said, wow, he's there.
Like Madame Twizzell's or one of those?
Madame Tussauds.
Oh, sorry, my
Yeah, Madame Tussauds. I don't know, but I think those kinds of aspects where how does Disney and Universal keep it fresh? We add a new attraction every year. So maybe you have those little matches. You have that memorabilia. You have that stuff you sell. Remember one thing, that the fan base for professional wrestling is a completely different fan base from baseball, football, and basketball. People fly in from all over the country, all over the world to attend WrestleMania. Just think about if you had a Hall of Fame, interactive rides, 4D. I mean, you could add something new every year. This year, John Cena will be here for 3 weeks. Wow. Just think, I mean, those are the ways to promote it. And I don't think there's a way that you can say not keep it fresh. I think that WWE has been burned because, the restaurant's a great idea. Didn't work, did it? No, wrong location, wrong time, wrong place. XFL is going to be a hit. However, let's see what happens with the XFL because The Rock bought it. Let's see what he turns that into. So I think they've got a sour taste in their mouth. I really do think, and Triple H has no basis for saying that, well, you know, these other ones are really not supported. Think about this. The people that go to the Basketball Hall of Fame, that go to the baseball and football, the generation is mine. The younger people today don't traverse to get there to see that because they don't have any heroes. You know, I bought a bunch of Shaq O'Neal plaque cards. They're the original card on wood, sealed. Shaq O'Neal autograph card. What do you think it's worth?
$50.
I'm lucky if I can get 10.
Really?
All right. So
why so little?
Because backwards, not forwards. So you and I remember Shaq. I'd love to get stuff from Shaq O'Neal. Cal Ripken, another example. I have his bronze card. I have a couple of other cards from Cal Ripken. The bronze card from, now I can't think, not Upper Deck, what's the one? Stadium Club. Wouldn't you think that would be worth something? One of a kind.
In theory, one of a kind, okay.
It only became if you were a member of the Stadium Club membership. Not everybody got it. I figured that'd be worth at least $50. You know what it's worth? $7.59. You can sit there and laugh all you want, but you know what I'm saying to you? The generation gap is so different. You and I would travel. I'd travel to the Baseball Hall of Fame to see Joe DiMaggio stuff, to see Ted Williams stuff. The kids today,
But I think the point that Triple H tried to make is, okay, there are people you can get to go once or twice, but how do you get them to go on a regular basis?
by making changes. That's what Universal and that's what Disney do. You know what?
That's a good point.
Every time I go to Universal, it's the same Minion ride. It's the same Mummy ride. Isn't it? Has it changed? No, but what have they added? I mean, I'm not going on it. If you think I'm going to that Velociraptor, the roller coaster, you're nuts.
Well, the new Jurassic Park
Oh,
one?
please,
Yeah.
no way. No.
Save that one for
My
Howard.
Depends would be full. There's absolutely no way I'm going to do that. But they added something new. Disney has added something
The
new.
Bourne Identity. Did you go on that one yet?
Who?
The Bourne Identity show that replaced the Terminator one?
No, that just opened. I haven't been there yet.
You'll probably like. I liked it.
Did you? I like The Simpsons.
I always have fun on The Simpsons.
I think they did a disservice to the King Kong ride. That was horrible.
Well,
The old
I
King-
missed the old one.
That's
I missed
right.
the old Jaws.
Yep.
I missed the old Back to the Future.
Yep.
But
Anyway,
sound like old.
you
old
and I,
fogies.
but you see where we're going with
Yeah.
this? In order to keep you coming, you and I go back and you walk into the park and you go, I'm going to go here, 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 because I know where to go. Oh, wait a minute. They just added Spider-Man 4D. There's something new and different. That Velociraptor ride, when they did the Harry Potter. I'm down there.
yeah, those Harry Potter lines are insane.
Okay, I went for that motorcycle thing, you know.
You did.
Well,
you went on that one?
Stop. I went. I get there. The wait is 3 hours and 40 minutes. I said, you know what? I didn't wait this long for my son to be born. And then I
You've
looked
got to
at
get my gimmick.
when that first opened, that ride first opened, the lines were outside the park to get into that friggin' ride for Harry Potter. And then I find out they're shutting it down. Why were they shutting it down? Because there were a bunch of bees that in the ride against the and I said to the girl, the young lady, I'm sorry, I don't mean to use the word girl, the young woman that was there, I said, just kill the bees. Can't, they're an endangered species.
Bees?
Bees. I'm going, are you telling me the truth? She said, yeah, we've got to close it down. And then I start walking the ramp. I said, okay, I think I'll go on this thing. I see the ride and I see where it's going, and then when it hits the thing and, sorry, turned around and left. Sat down, had my little drink, and waited for somebody to get off the ride. No thanks. Harry Potter is popular, but again, once again, in order to keep you to come back, we'll create something new and different. And if WWE doesn't have the foresight to hire a staff to do that so that something new is added once a year.
Maybe they should have partnered with the folks at Universal Studios.
I would certainly think that would have been a smart thing to do,
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
One man's opinion, but we are running out of time. Before we go, we did mention NXT, the new logo, the new look. Just wanted to send out some congratulations to the winner of the NXT Breakout Tournament this year, Johnny, the former Christian Casanova of your Uprising faction here in Boston Wrestling MWF, now Carmelo Hayes, continuing to make us proud. He looks like $1,001,001, almost like one of these $1 million bills. I think you should send him one as a congratulations.
He's probably working for $1 million. I work with Casanova.
I don't think he's making quite that much in NXT, but
Atlantic Pro Wrestling.
I tell you that, I'm very happy where he is and what he's doing, and I think he's going to continue do great things. Just got to keep his head on and keep his eye on the prize, baby.
And, biggest thing down there is don't think you know it all. That's Howard. He probably just passed out on us.
With a woman, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, wrestling fans, for John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Marotti. He may know Marjo's Krusty's Funhouse. I don't know. I'm Dan Marotti. We will see you before next Friday. We have a special treat for our 20th anniversary this Tuesday. You're not going to want to miss it. Until we speak again, you and yours, be well. Good night from Boston.
Tickets are on sale now for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s and 90s WrestleFest Birthday Bash, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. Thank you for joining us. Please give the video a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more great content. Don't forget, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Check out our eBay store and join the Boston Wrestling family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling so we can produce more in-depth shoot interviews.